Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad, and today a very special Daily Muddy. We have Barb Holdhouse here with John Wood Community College, as well as two students who are recipients of scholarships. And first of all, welcome to Muddy River News.
Thank you.
Is this your first experience being at a table like this, being on camera, having a conversation?
Yes.
All right, you guys are going to rock it.
Pretty much,
Kinda?
yeah.
Okay, well we're going to rock it here. And Barb, you've been here multiple times. You know what you're
Forever,
doing.
yes.
Yes. Okay. So as the advancement director, you know your stuff when it comes to scholarships and the importance thereof when it comes to John Wood Community College. Can you give me a little background of kind of scholarships in general and how they play a role in the engagement at John Wood?
Sure. Scholarships are key to our work at the foundation. It's really our number one priority for the college because it is the number one barrier for students in them continuing their education. So we think it's very important, and we are always adding scholarships, always building our scholarship funds, and on an annual basis we provide scholarships. We administer over 100 scholarships
wow.
through the foundation.
Okay.
And literally hundreds of thousands of dollars are distributed directly to our local students.
Sure.
And that's all made possible because of the investment that individuals and organizations make to our foundation. All of the scholarships that we provide are through private donations.
Really?
So scholarships like Lauren and Josh have received are because of the investment that others are making in their future.
Right.
So it's really very forward, very giving it forward and thinking about the future and investing in that future, not only of these students, but of our entire community.
Right, absolutely. So you mentioned the two recipients. So we have Lauren McDowell and Joshua Herring, recipients of the Presidential Scholarship. Did I get that right?
Right.
Okay.
Presidential Scholarship it's a little different than most of our scholarships. Really, it's our most prestigious. There's more of a competitive nature to that with an interview and essays and things of that nature. So these students obviously have applied themselves and have excelled, and as such have received that scholarship. As I mentioned, though, we have literally more than 100 scholarships that students can apply for each spring through our foundation, and so all students are open to that. The presidential, it does require some additional requirements.
I was going to ask,
Yes.
different criteria, and of course we don't want to minimize your achievement, right, in getting this scholarship. There's also a third one that we want to mention, right?
Oh, right. We have three presidential scholars each year. Abby Chamberlain is the third, who wasn't able to join us today.
Okay.
We're very excited for you to meet Lauren
Yes.
and Josh.
Okay, so Lauren, how did you find out about this scholarship?
Well, I met with my advisor in high school, Mr. Sheffield, and he was amazing. He just they did such a good job of letting us know about every single scholarship. So really, our high school just pushed us in those directions.
Okay.
And we always got an email to all the seniors. I'm you can apply for this one. So that's how I found out. And
So a lot of information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good communication in high school. Yes.
Excellent. So did you know when you applied for this that you had the criteria met, or did you have to work further to make sure you met?
Yes, I knew I had it met.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good for
I
you.
did.
That's excellent. Now, I don't know all the criteria, but something tells me you got to be a pretty upstanding student, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, it is a competitive award, so we're looking for students who are engaged, involved, who have applied themselves.
Okay.
So this one's probably, like I said, has a lot more,
little more weight
boxes
to it.
to check.
Yeah.
But we have scholarships literally for every department, every major.
Sure.
Students can usually find something that matches
They
with
can get
their
help.
skill set, with their interest, and with their background.
Yeah. I was going to, students more like me, let's go ahead and call it, right? Where I may not meet the presidential criteria, but there are, like Barb was saying, scholarships available for anyone who's interested in, furthering education at John Wood, which I think is incredible. And you did mention the barrier to entry in college a lot of times is cost. And even for community colleges, it can be quite expensive. Joshua, when you were looking at colleges, some kids, their parents are going to pay for it. Some kids have to pay it for it themselves. I'm not asking your unique experience because I don't think that's really anybody's business. But did you find cost to be something that you looked at when looking at colleges? Did you consider it?
Yeah,
Yeah?
definitely.
Okay.
I wanted something close to my hometown and nothing I was going to have to spend several years in debt to work
Yeah.
on. So I knew that John Wood was a great choice because it's low cost and it's like right in my hometown.
Yeah, right in the heart of community. That's I went to John Wood, and a lot of people, they're like, I can't believe you're, one of the things, and let's just be 100% honest, people kind of expect you to go away to these big colleges because it's like the college experience. And a lot of people would say, I can't believe you're staying at John Wood. Well, those years that I spent there were some of the best in my life. Not only do you get to stay kind of close to home, which a lot of people find comforting, but there are so many different personalities and people from the surrounding communities and even pretty far away that come to John Wood because it's such a great community college.
Right, and our district is, more than just the immediate area.
Yes.
It's, Adams, Brown, Pike, and then parts of 6 other counties.
Right.
So our district spreads out a bit.
Yeah, and one of the things I found really interesting was the involvement in not only academia, but sports and community engagement. I think it's just, John Wood is just, if you haven't looked into it, I fully recommend it. And then you have scholarships on top of all that, which
Absolutely.
is awesome. So it's generally a 2-year college. Do you have plans to move on? I know some people do, some people don't. Lauren?
Yes,
Yeah?
I do. Yeah, I have plans to transfer on to a bigger 4-year for
Okay.
my undergrad. I plan to become a dentist, so
Okay.
John Wood made a lot of sense financially, like Josh was saying. But yes, I'm thinking about Mizzou, not really sure, but I do know I want to transfer after 2 years.
Excellent. Joshua?
I'm not completely decided yet, but if I do have to continue learning for a higher degree, then I will transfer.
Yeah.
I'm undecided which college yet.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting because another thing is college has kind of shifted in, you need this big 4-year, 6-year, or even, 8-year degree to make any money. Now it's, you can get a pretty lucrative career going with a 2-year degree, which I think is really incredible.
Yeah, the associate degree certainly opens a lot of doors. And, as you were saying, we have such a mix of students at John Wood. It's hard to say that there is a typical path.
Right.
What our goal is as a college is to figure out what that path, or help a student to identify what path they want to go on.
Right.
And then help them to get there in the best way possible and saving money along the way.
Sure.
And getting there in a timely way.
Right.
So we want to match what we offer with what their goals and needs are.
Absolutely. And I just talked to Kristen Ritterbusch. Of course, she's with, Pathways. I think that, so starting with scholarships and kind of attracting students, but then not only attracting them to John Wood, but helping them find their way through a multitude of different events and making all of this possible with a multitude of events, which you have one coming up that's great, right? Because scholarships don't come from, nothing's free. Right, guys? We've learned that even, starting in college. We learned that nothing is free.
Yes. So we have a signature event, which is to support our Pathways to Promise scholarship program. Coming up this week, the annual JWCC Foundation Wine Pull. And it's just a great event to begin with. But the fact that it supports students like Josh and Lauren here make it even better.
Right.
And in addition to that, though, you're right, we are always looking for support. 100% of the donation of gifts that are made to the foundation go directly toward student assistance. Okay. So it is helping with tuition, books, fees, but it's helping with those educational expenses, and it wouldn't be possible without individuals to make those gifts. Yes.
Yeah. Some great partners, absolutely. If I know one thing about our community, we do show up, and we do put a lot of investment in future generations. So it's incredible that we're all here talking about. I think that's amazing. So when you're talking about investing, you don't have to be someone with a ton of money or a big organization, right? If you find the call to help John Wood or the mission of the foundation, where do people get more information?
That's a great question. Our foundation exists solely to support our college and our students. And at any time, someone can make a gift. You don't have to attend a special event.
Okay.
That's just a great way for us to remind people and to kind of tell them more about what's going on.
And have some fun, let's be honest.
And have some fun,
Yeah.
absolutely. Actually, these 2 students will be helping us with that event.
Nice.
So it's nice for them, too, to get to meet individuals who are making their education possible.
Yeah.
But our foundation is located on our main campus, and we obviously can take any type of gift there is.
Right?
We're very flexible.
Yes.
Certainly we can establish scholarships. We have the Pathways to Promise Scholarship Fund, which is an endowment that we're going to be building so that long after we're sitting here today, students for generations will benefit from this generosity.
Sure.
But we have a lot of scholarships that honor and pay tribute to an individual, perhaps someone who has passed away, family members. We have annual scholarships. Pretty much, we can accommodate any situation
Okay.
to establish an award, or just a general scholarship fund that helps a lot of different students.
Right.
So, you can contact me at the foundation online. We have a web presence at jwccfoundation.org.
Okay.
Or they can ask you, Ashley, and
Yeah.
you can give them my
I
contact
can do it.
info at
I
any
can hook
time.
you up.
That's
yes.
right.
John Wood Community College gives back, and the foundation, of course, is always welcoming gifts so that you can give back. If you're interested in giving or receiving, reach out to Barb.
Absolutely.
Contact any of the students, I guess, right, that have experienced some of this just to get their take on it. I think it's incredible that you are recipients of this. I think that your hard work has made it possible. If you are someone who maybe is not as hard a worker as these two, and you still are looking for scholarship possibilities, reach out to Barb and the foundation. There's something for everyone. John Wood exists here to give back to our community, and we want to give back to them. So get engaged, learn a little bit, attend the wine poll.
That's right.
Right? Have some fun. Go meet these two incredible students. And if you have more questions, visit JWCC, is it .org?
JWCCfoundation.org.
.org. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you all coming in. Good luck with everything.
Thanks,
you.
Ashley.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coming up next, Britt B, Ash C, Coffee Talk. Stay tuned.
Welcome out to Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer and it feels so right. I'll meet you out on Broadway underneath Shamrock Light. We're gonna have a good time on the patio tonight. There's a party down at Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer on a champagne night. We're feeling all alone and you got no place to go. So come down here and drink a beer on Kelly's patio. Kelly's a fun place to eat and drink. 2902 Broadway.
Welcome to Cedar Club, Quincy's favorite local bar. A friendly corner bar with a laid-back atmosphere and affordable drinks. It's the perfect spot for a great time. With entertainment galore, including shuffleboard, golden tea, pool, foosball, and winning gaming machines. Cedar Club's latest edition is the best spot to catch your favorite game. Great drinks, great friends, and great times. Cedar Club, 20th and Cedar in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Utopia is now open every day from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. and till 1 a.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Chill out with a craft cocktail or an ice cold beer. And Utopia's got the latest gaming machines with big jackpots ready for you to win. Need the perfect spot for your next celebration? Utopia features a beautiful event venue, available now for parties, reunions, and private events. So come see what all the buzz is about. The drinks are cold, the space is hot, and Utopia is ready for you.
And welcome back. Now it's time for Coffee Talk with Ash C and Britt B. Thanks to EFB, we get to spill the tea. And today it's hot tea.
It is.
Ooh,
It's
I mean,
unseasonally hot tea.
it's very hot.
and then the subject matter is hot tea too.
It's a spicy one.
Yeah.
It is very spicy. So let's get into it. Okay.
Last night's city council meeting, Quincy City Council meeting, actually it would be 2 nights ago as you're watching this today. At the very end of the meeting, we heard a speech from Councilman Jake Reed, who stated that there is going to be an event at the library where they're handing out books.
Freed Between the Lines is an event,
Yes.
right?
So
The
some of
event.
these books are, I believe they were
Banned. So it all kind of goes back to the changing of hands of the library director,
Okay.
right? I know that at one time we FOIA'd the list of these
Yes.
items that I think they were called missing items. I don't know what that means, right? But we FOIA'd this list. Since then, they've had a change in leadership at the library. Now they're holding an event to kind of bring back these banned or questionable books.
Okay.
I think is kind of the bubble of what this is all happening in.
And at this event, they're going to actually pass out some books.
Yes, free of charge, from what I understand.
Okay, so one of the books is called This Book is Gay.
Yeah.
Jake brought it to the Quincy City Council meeting last night, and there are social media pictures floating around there, like just excerpts from the book.
Yeah, the content
where
is.
the content is so out of touch for a child that, like, I mean, my mind is blown.
Yeah.
So I'm flipping through the pictures, aka the pages, and it's a list of like definitions of sexual terms. One of which was poppers. I didn't even know what a popper was.
I still don't.
It's some kind of, I think it's still like has to do with like a drug.
Oh, kind of like a Whippets or
Yeah,
something, probably.
but like, so why are we teaching that to children?
Yeah.
One of the definitions was scissor sisters.
Oh.
Now, when I learned what a scissor sister was, I had to go to the adult section of the library, take out a Judy Blume book called Summer Sisters. I believe I was 12 and hiding this from my parents that
Yeah.
I was reading a Judy Blume book from the adult section.
Right.
And in that book, you know, they talk about whatever, and my mind was like, oh my God. Because at even age 12, like, I didn't know, but I wasn't presented the book. It wasn't handed right to
not
me. I had
spoon-fed
to
to
sneak
you.
that
Yeah.
from the adult section and read it under my cover secretly.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
This is something we're passing out to children, and it's intended for children. I think they said, I forgot where I picked that up. Someone said this book is intended for children who are 13. Again, I think we have a young adult section. Maybe it's put there, but my daughter's 13.
Yeah.
I would not hand her this book.
Well, I think you'd have to
She
be.
already knows enough slang.
Yeah, I think you have to be careful. So there's a couple of things at play here. One, these kids, a lot of kids are learning this stuff, so I don't want to ignore that fact. They're learning it from,
Slang, internet.
maybe in proper channels. Does that mean that we need to have something that kind of spoon feeds this information that maybe shouldn't be distributed by a public library that is
Tax-fed.
funded? So I don't have a problem with having this material available to the masses, because I think that as a parent, I guess it's your right. I think that is very questionable content to be feeding any child as a parent or guardian. But I guess it's your right as a parent if you want to expose your children to this. I do have a problem with how it's being presented under the guise of, I guess, unbiased content, because this event that's tax funded at a municipal, organization, I don't think it's necessary. I guess that's what, I don't know the.
When taxes come into play, like with the funding, it doesn't matter, I guess, if you have a child or not involved. At that point, this is your tax money going to fund what some would see as an agenda.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not really too sure why we have to involve children on these things. I know that the argument a lot of times is, you don't magically, become an adult and you start experiencing the feelings of spectrum and whatnot.
Sure.
So I understand that this is something you would present to people, children, I guess, before, but there has got to be a better manner in which to do this.
I think there has to be a line drawn, because here's how I see it. I want my children to be exposed to different people with different cultures, with different ideas across the board. I want them to be able to see all of these differences. I think it's very, very important. I'm not sure why sex has to come into play.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be so sexually charged? If you're having a drag show, if you want your child there, I don't see a problem with it, because that's not my thing. But I don't like the dollars in the panties.
No, that
and
is
the
stripper. That is stripper culture.
It's very sexually charged. So I don't know why you can't expose your children to differences in people and preferences without bringing in the sexual nature until it's something that you find appropriate or I find appropriate. Why is the library now involved in exposing our children to this without maybe and yes, we have the right to go and visit this event, but why do we have to choose not to go to an event because we don't want our child to see a sexual related book? I would go to a Read Between the Lines to expose my kids to things that I don't want books to be banned based on a certain type of subject matter. But I'm definitely not going if they're going to see content like Scissor Sisters that I'm not prepared for them to see.
Grinder was one of it, and like
Poppers. I guess I just don't see the need for that kind of content.
So also in regards to I guess the library holding this event, so this is in partnership, that book at least was with it's a non-for-profit organization, Quinata. We love Quinata.
Yes.
They serve.
They have a very important mission.
Yes. But I guess I'm not sure too, and to Jake's, in his speech, he said, I'm not really sure why
this is applicable.
Yes.
This doesn't apply.
Because even though it is a non-for-profit, they still get their money through, state funded grants. So that is our taxes too.
Yes. Right.
At play. I guess, it blows my mind that.
And why is it important, I guess, and maybe we can get answers to this, but why is it important for, a battered woman's shelter to promote this type of event?
I think it stems from abuse, like all abuse is what they're trying to.
Okay, well, some would consider this almost sexual abuse of children.
I mean, yeah.
So you have to kind of find your purpose and fit into it. And I think the library is, its purpose, and if you look at their mission, it's basically to, you're educating across all people. And I think that that's really important. I do have a question if they're going to then have an event that is geared towards a conservative natured agenda. Because if you're going to be unbiased and we're going to promote this type of thing, we also have to expand on the other side as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Quincy, we lean the other way. So you have to know your audience.
Yeah, this is a pretty conservatively based town.
Yeah.
And when you're already having problems with your funding because your funding comes from the voter, essentially, I don't think you're doing it right. I did see arguments on there where it was just like, defund the library. When I say I'm saying through social media, because like I said, these pictures of this book were floating around, and people are outraged, again, by the pages, and you would see comments of people being like, defund the library or fire them all. I don't think that's going to solve the problem, especially the defunding of the library. We already have like some of the lowest reading.
The library is very important, but I think we need to stay in we need to find our lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we need to keep this open. We have one of the worst reading statistics in the area, and people would say, okay, well, you don't go to the library to learn to read. Yes, you do.
That's where you immerse yourself in. That's where you find your love for reading, and you find the different
practice
documents.
Makes perfect too. Like if everyone says, okay, everyone has tablets, we have access to books, that's not the same. Your practice makes perfect in a book, I think. The whole reason why our reading score levels are so bad is because everybody has tablets in their hands and not books.
Well, I think it's just not encouraged, and I think events like this have the opportunity to really encourage engagement with our library, but if you're doing it in a way that is alienating a huge part of your population, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That's just where I am, and I'm not saying that they can't have these books and that parents can't go and promote these books to their children if that's what they want. If they want to,
This book still should not be in the children's
if they want to
section.
teach their children to read this, what I considered smut or, you know,
I mean, it is borderline
perversion.
porn.
I mean,
It
yeah,
is porn.
So if you're
to a degree.
if I'm a parent and I want to go expose and this book is banned and I want to teach my child why it shouldn't be banned, that's my prerogative. Do I have a library that is tax funded creating events like this under the guise of creating engagement with my library when you're doing it in a very small part of the population? I just don't think it's, I think that's the problem that taxpayers should have. It seems very agenda driven, and I'm not sure that the library should be painted with that, nor should they want to.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am with it. And I think it's the library's job to educate everyone across all things, and I hate the idea of banning books because we can't, we're in a cancel culture, but I think you have to be really careful the line between cancel and promotion of things that may not be appropriate by a lot of people.
Yeah.
That line has to be really carefully danced around.
Yeah, you'd also, I mean, to an extent, I think parents kind of hope that like the library wouldn't put stuff like this, that we wouldn't have to monitor so much.
Yeah.
In the children's section.
Right.
You're putting this next to where you have the puppets. Like, this is the children's section. Unless I'm mistaken and you have it in the young adults section, which I believe then is, located away from the children's
Sure.
section. Then
I still think that it doesn't matter where it's placed in the library to use an event
to pass it out for free. It's
to-
free material.
to promote
free
it,
material
to-
again.
using an event that's taxpayer funded to promote that kind of material goes against what I think our dollars should be spent
Yeah.
on. I want to have the material available, because I don't think that anybody should get to decide what I'm teaching my child. That's just how I roll. I think parents have autonomy over their children until they're 18. That's how kind of not saying that I want to say that Claire doesn't get to make decisions, but I should have a say in it. And I'm sure I'm going to eat those words at some point.
I guess also where's the line though of where's this educational and where's this porn too? Because the library doesn't house porn for adults.
Yeah.
So like that's kind
Well, I guess
of a
that's
question.
subjective because I could read a lot of books that have what I would consider also
Yeah,
porn.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my Judy Blume book.
Right. See, so then there is a lot of questions, but I think the underlying, I guess, point that I have, and maybe I don't speak for everybody, is it's a taxpayer-funded municipality, right? It's an organization that we spend a lot of money on. I don't think that we should be using that to politicize or promote socio-political things. And you can call being gay not socio-political. I'm not saying that being gay in and of itself is, but the idea of pushing that onto children is very much a political argument, basically.
Yeah.
So whether you believe it's political or not, it definitely is in that realm. So I just don't think the library needs to get, that's
I think
a touchy subject.
This is not this isn't going to end here. This
No.
is the middle of September. Again, this event is October 22nd. It's slated for that. We'll see if that's something that still happens.
Yeah. Maybe we'll learn more. Maybe change my mind. I don't know. I mean, I'm not, we're not ever on this.
Yeah, I'm open to having my mind changed. I don't know how you're going to do it or how
Yeah.
we're going to justify this, but like if maybe we are saying something that's not entirely true, then we're open and welcome
Yeah.
to have a discussion. Let's hear more about this.
Yeah. But as it stands right now, just from Jake Reed's statement and from what we've learned just since, it seems like a
Yeah,
very
I'm glad he
volatile
brought that to
situation.
City Council too,
Yeah.
because sometimes people will say, "Oh, Jake Reed doesn't bring, matters to City Council that are City
Yeah.
Council matters." This is definitely a City Council
It's definitely
matter
a city
if
council.
it's tax funded.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't always agree with everything our city council says. This is just something that made our ears perk up. So again,
cheers.
we're willing to learn more, but so far, not impressed.
Thanks,
All right.
Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
EFB.
Thanks to City Council. Thanks to EFB. We definitely spilled some hot tea. Stay cool out there, and until we learn more, make up your own mind.
This has been